Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with the Streets, man. So it's showtime. Hey, look, man. I want to respond to this whole Colin Kaepernick reportedly going to Houston because the owner or the GM is interested in him. First of all, they already signed T.J. Yates and Matt McGloin, and I'm not saying that's the reason why they shouldn't bring him in or that they won't bring him in. But if they was gonna bring him in, why the fuck would they sign T.J. Yates and Matt McGloin? Like, the reason why they signed Matt McGloin is um, Bill O'Brien, the coach for the Houston Texans, knows him from Penn State, from back when he was coaching Penn State. After the whole Jerry Sandusky, Joe Paterno shit, and they had to get rid of Joe Paterno. Um, and Bill O'Brien took over. He was an offensive coordinator slash assistant for the New England Patriots, and he ended up getting a job. And so he went to college. He pretty much turned that whole program around for what it's worth when he was there, considering the circumstances. And they couldn't even. I don't even think they could was eligible to play any bowl games for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. Some crazy shit like that after that whole thing happened. And the kids, to me, the kids really shouldn't have been punished. Like that. That wasn't their fault. I mean, if you going to do something, bruh, if you're going to do something, bruh, just remove the motherfuckers that was involved you know, from their positions and shit. All the athletic directors, everybody that was associated with that horrible, nasty ass cave demon shit. Do that, but don't punish the fucking football players that ain't had shit to do with that. It wasn't like they was taking money, and even if they was taking money, like I've said before, these motherfuckers need to get paid because they making these universities and these athletic directors and all these motherfuckers millions, billions of dollars, and busting their ass to try to get to the NFL to make millions of dollars, and most of them motherfuckers won't even make the NFL. It's just the reality. Like, because you good in college, it don't mean that you always gonna make the NFL. Some of the motherfuckers don't even go to the draft or the combine because they know, like, yo, I'm probably not even projected to go to the NFL. I'm probably not even good enough to make the NFL. So when I'm a senior, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna get my degree. I'm gonna go start a business or get a job in the field that I got my degree in and all that other shit. So I don't really think that they should have been punished for that. And Bill O'Brien got his job primarily because he turned Penn State around, and then he went back to the NFL. And Houston was looking for a head coach because they had fired Gary Kubiak, the same Gary Kubiak that coached Denver to a Super Bowl. See, Houston probably should have waited on Gary Kubiak. He probably would have gave you. He probably gave you a viable quarterback had you not shitted on Matt Schaub and threw eggs at his house. You know what I'm saying? When he was having that dreadful season in 2013, y'all probably could have got Kyle Shanahan to come back to Houston to coach the fucking team, and y'all been patient. It took a few years. They ended up winning the AFC South for, I think, the first. No, they ended up going to the playoffs. I don't think they won the AFC South. I think they, I think they did go to the playoffs like every year that he was there. That he's been there since like 2013, 14 or something like that. And now all of a sudden they got Deshaun Watson, traded up to get him, and he was having a great rookie season. Now they back to Tom Savage. And needless to say, he stunk up the joint last Sunday. Not really, not that bad, but he's not the answer. And Tom Savage is also another guy that Bill O'Brien liked when they drafted him in like the third or fourth round out of Pittsburgh a few years ago. But if you liked him that much, you probably would have started him after you know what I'm saying, after all these years instead of going through Brandon Weeden and Matt Castle and Brian Hoyer and all that shit. So he's not the answer. Neither is Matt McGloin, neither is TJ Yates. And he did win a playoff game for them a few years ago back in like 2012. Uh, when Matt Schaub got hurt before the playoffs. And he won a game against Cincinnati in Houston. And they went to Baltimore and he threw two interceptions and they got their ass blown out. Um, so that's the story on TJ Yates. Matt McGloin already gave y'all his backstory. Tom Savage, I gave y'all his backstory. Now, Colin Kaepernick is all of a sudden getting considered for to get brought in by Houston, and and today is technically Monday morning. So this is when they bring in guys to work out, you know, for pretty much every position that they might need. And I know Houston needs a quarterback. They need a couple, you know what I'm saying, maybe defensive linemen. They might need a linebacker because they got a lot of injuries. But the main thing is they need a quarterback because they got the defense. I know J.J. Watt went down, but he still got Clowney. They still got Merciless. When Brian Cushing get back, that'll pretty much complete their defense over the, you know what I'm saying, besides J.J. Watt still being out. So they got the defense. They got a nice little running game with Lamar Miller and Devontae Foreman, the kid out of Texas. Um, but all they need is a quarterback to pretty much just keep this shit afloat. You know what I'm saying? They 3-5. I think they 3-5, 3-6. And they still got a chance to win the AFC South. There's no Andrew Luck. I don't know how long Jacksonville can keep this up. Although they did beat them the first week of the season, so they do own the tiebreaker. And their defense is very, very, very good, very good. And they got a star rookie in Leonard Fournette, although he didn't play yesterday because he violated team rules. But I don't know how long Jacksonville might be able to keep that up. It all depends on how Blake Bortles plays. If he turns the ball over, they're pretty much going to lose. They can't overcome. You can say any team can't overcome turnover, but it seems like Jacksonville always seems every time he turns the ball over, they fold because it's like, come on, Blake, for real. So I don't know how long Jacksonville can keep that up, even with the supporting cast that they have. But if the Texans sign Colin Kaepernick, if they can get on a roll, and he ain't even got to do much. He can do what he did in San Francisco. And you know what I'm saying, just manage the game. You know what I'm saying, some games, just like he did in San Francisco in the playoffs and late during that run when he took over for Alex Smith. You know what I'm saying, he can chuck it too. He can chuck it. He can run. He still got the legs, um, or whatever. But they might need to consider that now. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, why would you go play for an owner?" You know what I'm saying? That said, you know what I'm saying, said that whole thing. But at the same time, with this collusion case going on, you don't want them to deny you an opportunity by them saying, "Oh, we offered him a job, but he didn't want to take it because this and that, this is and that," and he's just trying to keep this whole thing about us conspiring against him to keep him out the NFL up. You know what I'm saying? So he can, you know what I'm saying, so he can take down the league and the CBA. So I mean it's a job. You know what I'm saying? It's a job. If he wants the job, if they offer him a job, but then you got obviously dudes in the black community, women in the black community that be like, maybe, might look at him sideways for taking the job, especially from that owner. I won't, because really, if he ever gets back in the NFL, period, they lose. They gonna have to pay him. I mean, I understand the whole precedent about taking money from a dude, you know what I'm saying, that got them views. But guess what? He's still paying you, and he gonna have to look you in the face while he sign that check and saying, he, you know what I'm saying, here, Mr. Kaepernick, here's your, weekly check, your salary, and this is how much we're gonna pay you to come in and be our quarterback or whatever. Even if he's just sitting on the bench, they still gotta pay him. They still gotta pay him. So either way, Bob McNair loses. Um, Jerry Jones, if they was gonna sign him, if Dallas was gonna sign him, which I would love, somebody that can teach Dak, the ropes about, being a dual threat quarterback in the NFL. Now, obviously, Dak is a better passer than Colin was at this point, but he can show him the ropes. Second year guy, Cap been in the league, 7 years? 29 years old. Dak only, 23, 24? So he can teach him, some things. Green Bay need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So any owner that signs Cap, they lose because they get exactly what they don't want, which is him on the team, and they gotta pay him. They're spending their money on a guy that they aspired to keep out of the league, and now a lot of these teams are so desperate. Houston is desperate because they feel like they still got a shot to win. Green Bay's on a bye week, so I don't even know why they ain't bring him in yesterday or last Monday. They got a chance this Monday, this Tuesday. When when they at the facility. Oh no, excuse me. Green Bay plays tonight against Detroit. If Green Bay lose that game and they already 0-1 with Brent Hundley, um, they already 0-1 with Brent Hundley, so that means they're 4-3. If they lose to Detroit, they're 4-4, which means they're 500. They still have a chance to catch Minnesota for that division lead. They still have a chance to at least get a wild card berth in the playoffs if they were to sign Colin Kaepernick, because they got receivers. They got nice little receivers that they can rely on. They got a nice running game. They got an okay defense. You know what I'm saying? So they can use Kaepernick right now, especially if they lose. They really want to think about this. But everybody was saying Houston because the reports came out that Houston was interested. I mean, and it's a slippery slope because he may look at it the way I'm looking at it, in that you're gonna have some people in the black community, and I'm not saying myself because I want the dude to get the job regardless. Because like I said, it's not on him; it's on the owners. They got to pay him. He's just the one collecting the check. So I understand people was like, oh, he said no if we take a check from a guy like Bob McNair who said what he said, but at the same time, that's not stopping everybody else from taking that money. And also, like I said, he's the one getting the money, which they don't want to pay him anyway. Because if they wanted to pay him, they'd have signed him early. But now they're getting desperate, so they gotta pay him if they was ever gonna bring him in. So he wins. He wins on a physical level, financial level, and um a moral level because he was right all along for doing what he did and standing his ground. But anyway, man, that's just my thoughts on the whole thing. I'm out.